Happy Disability Pride Month. I wanted to talk a little bit about being autistic myself and autism and the internet. There are some people who are neurodivergent that don't consider themselves disabled. Whether they're autistic, ADHD, OCD, or a variety of other neurodivergent identities, or that you're disabled by the social environment and not actually disabled. But disability is not a bad word. And while you need to respect whatever somebody wants to identify themselves as, saying that these disabilities aren't disabilities is actually part of ableism. It's also important to remember that right now a lot of people are very interested in autism and ADHD, for example, and they forget all of the other neurodivergent identities as well as other types of disabilities, like invisible disabilities or physical disabilities, all of which really need representation and need different kinds of voices. If your disability advocacy is not intersectional, then you're not really doing disability advocacy. And with its rise in popularity on the internet, there's been a lot of misinformation, a lot of content that's out there, such as the trend that I've seen recently where people talk about the autism selfie, or there was a question about numbers that was going around for a while where they give you different numbers and they were saying, what do these have in common? And the actual answer was that they are numbers. And people saying, oh, well, I thought it was the way that the number was shaped, so I'm autistic. Or not even necessarily thinking that, but it was a way to feel like they were more autistic. And the slippery slope with this type of content is, while sometimes it does feel really validating to hear people that have similar experiences to you, it can be incredibly invalidating to other people. Autism is a very large spectrum. And so just because you don't identify with some of the different traits that people that are autistic might share with each other doesn't mean that you're not autistic. I think it's so wonderful that we have this community now where people are able to identify something about themselves that they thought was this horrible part of them, and realizing that it's not, you just process the world differently. And you're able to feel like you found community for maybe the first time in your life, and that's such a wonderful thing. But we have to be so careful about how we word things, how we share things, and how we talk about autism. Autism is a collection of traits. You don't get identified as autistic based on just a singular trait. Someone may really love Star Wars, but they're not autistic at all. Some people are better at masking. So just because you don't appear like one person that you've seen talking about autism doesn't mean that you're not autistic. It just means that you're not autistic in the same way that they are. For example, I tend to eat the same foods over and over again. I have eaten some form of avocado toast for 5, 6, 7, I don't know, 7 years, I think. And one time I posted a video about this because I thought it was funny and it was accurate, and it was one of those things that when I realized I was autistic, I was like, oh. But that isn't everyone's experience. Remember, if you've seen one autistic person, you've only seen one.